Hello everyone, welcome back. Day 7 for our Java training. And previous session, we started to take a look at functions, everyone. This is a very important aspect that I want you to revise. I'm assuming you've all gone through the video as well. Now, please note that when we say functions, it is the same as being called as methods. They mean the same and exactly the same thing, just two different names. The most important aspect of a function, what is a team? We were talking about it here. You create it once and you can call it when and where needed. That is the most important aspect. The other aspect is it also helps you to better organize our code. And today we're going to look into how that will do. But let's look at those three types of functions yesterday that we saw. First function that just does a bunch of activities. What is F1 doing here? Let's go to the declaration of that function, line 24. See, there are three functions in this. Line 24, line 30, line 36. And my main method or main function. These are all functions team. Okay. And main method is a mandatory one that every Java program requires. And whatever you write in the main method is what will get executed finally for us. So when I look here and look at this code, it is just doing specific activity. That is function one. The second type of function, you pass values. Based on those values, it can do certain things. In this case, very simple, we did an addition. We said, let's add these two numbers, whatever we send. And we're going to print the total out here. How about function 3? Where does the difference in the function 3 start from? What is one of the most important thing, team? Can you tell me? What is the most important aspect of the function type 3 that we learned yesterday? So there's a basic function and then function can have input values and a function can get, it's not if else. If else can be there, cannot be there. It is not mandatory at all. What is the most important aspect of a function of type 3, the last one that we saw? It returns something. And the type of that return, the information type is out here. If it's an integer, or a double or a string or an array or an objects, as we go along we will see them. And in this case we are saying if x is less than y, return y, else return x. As simple as that. Now when we're calling these functions, let us look at how we can call them. So go back to my main method. Here just 3 times calling f1, 3 times calling f2, sending different parameters each time as inputs. Here f3 is put inside a print statement. Why? Because when we execute the code, line 18 that you see, team, in the highlighted text F3 1020, that highlighted portion will get replaced by whatever we sent out from that function. So whatever I highlighted, that will get replaced. So the same in this case, okay? And that will get highlighted. And let us say I can also take it on the right side of an equation and put it on the left side as long as they're the same. So if I say here this is a string, will it work, everyone? It will have immediately a syntax error. Eclipse helps us to identify there's something happening. I'm going to stop this. Why? Because this returns type string int and we cannot put it into a string. So we have to have the right combination. So these are important aspects of Java, team, where it tells you what you're returning, where do you capture them. All right. Now let's go back to our version 3.java. This was a simple one. I think I like the way we flowed through. Um, we wanted to log into the bank. We wanted to check balance, transfer balance, and then check balance again. Those were the few things we wanted to do. Okay. Now, in the version 1, we said we'll put in the login. So I said my expected username and password for a single user. Remember, team, all this that we are doing is for one user of a bank at the moment. How do we do it for other users? We will come to it slowly. So this is my expected username. This is my expected user password. And I'm collecting the actual username and actual user password from the user using my scanner system.in method. These are also methods, team. They basically do certain activities. Okay. And if they both are same, here does not matter if you give upper or lower cases, but in the password, it has to be case sensitive. Then we say correct credentials. And this was a good program that we started with. Why we went to version 2? Because we wanted to add up to 3 login attempts. And we wrote a while loop, everyone. Remember, I said while the number of tries is greater than 0 and the user logged in is not equal to yes. This basically says logged in is equal to yes. What is logged in? That is the status. I'll change down here. See, logged in is yes. And by default, it will be no. So if I put an exclamation in front of it, it becomes not equal to. Now, did you notice, team, that every day I'm introducing you to small concepts, how things can be done, like this exclamation, or what is dot equals, or what is ampersand, ampersand, and so on. As we use them consistently, our knowledge stays more practical and intact. Okay, so please don't be alarmed when you're learning new things. Look at it from what is necessary and practice writing the code. Okay, so that is done. What else is there? My tries user logged in. So here we are reducing the number of tries and then going back to the while, seeing if it's more than 0 and the user is not logged in and attempting it again. And that worked. So that was version 2. Now, what was version 3? We said we'll check to add balance to it. So there's a add balance and my balance. Why there are two things? Okay, just add balance, comma, my balance has a value in it. Then there's a scanner class, login attempts is the same, the whole code again for login. See, the same code is repeating so many times for me. Rather, it is big team, it is big code. And then, oh, I'm coming to my login now. Okay. Where is this balance? See, add balance, we're doing it out here. Now, let's understand what we can do next. Okay. V4, I'm going to save this as something required saving. All with me? Yes, no? Version 4. First thing we have changed is the class name. Have to be exactly the same. So we'll get that going. Save it, make sure there are no basic errors. So we got the previous one. In this version 4, I'm going to use the concept of functions, version 4. So each time it is not necessarily that I'm adding a feature to the program itself. I could also be improving the way I wrote my program. Okay, I could be doing better technology onto my program, a better logic into it, or better looking code maybe. So here I have an idea, team. How about I create a function called myLogin and you send a username and password. And if they are right, then we are all set. So how does a user log in? By entering credentials, all of this, correct? And then also knowing if this is happening this way, Control X. So I cut that whole code team in the while loop. The big code that you saw in the while loop, I cut it from there and I'm going to put it here. Now see what I will do. Okay, my keyboard is there here. I will explain about the life of this variables team shortly. But for now, let's use this. Control C. Control Z at the class level. Okay. My login. Okay. I'm using it in a static method. I have not yet discussed about static team. It will be a very interesting one on static when we get there. So if a user wants to log in, I would think of this as a logic of a function, everyone. Give me a second, please. All right. So it's gonna be, oops, I put a pen. Why is it not drawing? It's got to be like a box called my login. We send username, we send password. Okay. And it should tell me if I could successfully log in or not. That's all it should do. And whatever logic that is rare for that code, we've already tested it. Remember the words that I'm saying, team. So the way we try and implement functions is test the basic flow of the code, move to a new function, call the function where needed. So let's do this now. So here's my main method, minimize it. And here my login, let's focus on this. I'm sending f username, f password. Okay, this is for the function. So we're going to enter that here, team. And here I'll say f username and f password. So if actually, this is expected, right? Let's keep it as E only, team, if that's okay. It's a better way to relate. This is the expected username, expected user password. Now, actual username we're selecting here and we're using it, finishing it. Expected, we're sending it. And this, I don't need this as logged in. Yes. If the credentials are correct, I will say return pass, else return fail. That's all I'm going to do, team. And here I don't need an additional return statement. One of these returns will always work. Either I'll return pass or a fail. That is the job of this function called my login. So now my code must be very easy for me. I should just say while my tries is greater than 0 and logged in, actually what we will do is we will return here not pass, yes or no. Okay. Logged in equals my login. See, that's the name of the function. Little bit more descriptive, more clearer. And here I'm sending expected username and expected user password. Whatever we get in the return, it will be there in logged in. And here, if it is yes, then that's good. If it is no, it'll try again, up to 3 tries. Don't you think this looks such an easy and short code now for us to understand? Because the whole big logic that we wrote specifically for this my login has gone into that function. It is sitting there. Now my code looks so small and simple rather than a bulky one. Does it not look better, team, this way? All right. Now, if it has entered more than 3 times and then you have entered incorrect details, you cannot. Else, we're going to continue. This code, we will use it later. I'll change it later, team, the logic of it. And here, what is it that I can do? Welcome to Java Bank. Done. That's the first statement. So here starts my main flow of the user, what the user wants to do. Welcome to Java Bank. Enter 1 for check balance, 2 for add balance, 3 for transfer balance. So enter or click or whatever. Okay. Now these are the 3 options that the user is given. If the user wants to continue more, he can do, he or she can do later. But let us try first each of these team. Now, instead of writing the logic here and then moving into function, let's write the function right away. Okay. So I can write it before my login, does not matter. I can write it anywhere. So public, what should check balance do? For example, there is a current balance. My balance is there, right? So it will return, let me think, public static string or double check balance. Now, what will this balance do? It will print your balance is plus, what is the balance team that we have? My bal. See, now my bal will be created here. Okay. Can I explain to you the concept of life of variable or scope of a variable? Okay. And how, where all can we access it? Let me just explain to you so you understand what change I'm doing. Now look, it says my balance, it does not know. If I take my mouse over, it says my balance cannot, my bal cannot be cannot be resolved to a variable. How it cannot be resolved to a variable? Here it is understanding it clearly. It says double my bal. Where is it? Let's go. I declared it here. If I declared it in line 20, why can't I access it on line 50, team? Because you've created that under this block. It starts on line 8 and this block will end on line 48. So the life of my bal only is from line 8 to line 48. It will not be present after that anymore. If it has to be present after that, I have to go to one level higher to the class. Now look at this curl bracket. Let us see the scope of this starts on line 5 Let us see where it ends. Can you tell me, team, where does it end? Which line number? I want to see how attentive you are with it, if you are along with me or not. Which line number does the main, not the main method, does this class curl bracket end? Everyone should be able to answer. 74, perfect, right? So see, that's the last line. So it is almost available across the entire program. All I need to do is move this my barrel to here. I'll say double my bal, and the value we will put something, okay, later. And I don't need it here anymore. It'll duplicate things. So I'm going to remove it from here for now. Do I need to put add balance also here? Yes, not yet though. Now, there will still be an error, team, on my bal. See, check balance, my balance. The reason being, only theoretically, don't try and understand the logic of static yet. I will teach you when we get to oops. But theoretically, the logic is very simple here. This is a method called static. Okay, it's a static type of method. So you can call it without an object being created. In a static method, if you want to use a variable, then that variable also has to be static. That's the whole purpose. And the reason this is static is because I'm calling it from a static method. Okay. And now check balance has to return a double, team. If it doesn't return a double, then it has a problem. Correct? That is why even before I took my mouse over, I can see, oh, okay, I wrote double, then I have to put a number here. Your balance is blah, 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 and return my bal. That'll go. So at the beginning of the program, you'll say your balance is, let us say, 0. We will first check balance. This is what my login. So login is done, so I'll minimize it. Anyone who's confused and did not watch yesterday's video or repeat it again, please watch it. This will be so easy to understand now. Now see, check balance is done. Similarly, I want an add balance. For add balance, I'll enter a double value, add bal, what is the amount that I want to send. So then I'll say my bal equals the old value of my balance plus the new add balance to it. And I will say your new balance is my bal plus return this value. So now I've created a check balance. I don't need to send anything into it. I created an add balance. It'll have to tell me how much I need to add into it. And now I can hopefully call this method. So let's go down. And here, I don't want any of these anymore, team. Okay, how much to deposit? Okay, this is for add balance, right? Even this, I'll take it there. Then it will be all set. So first we will ask enter how much to deposit. It will enter some value. And old balance was my bal. New is whatever we do. So I don't need to send that amount, team. We are asking that question right away. So here double add bal equals my keyboard. And we're printing old balance, adding, and we can use the return if we want. Okay. This check balance is printing and also returning, but we don't need to use it, team. So let's see now what I mean to say. Okay. Let us do this portion later, team. It may confuse you a little right now. So we'll just do a few of add balances and check balances. Okay. So I will say check balance. Do I need to send anything to it? No. So I can just call that function. Then I'll say add balance. Do I need to pass anything to it? No, cause again, what I want, I'm taking it here. And then I can again say check the balance and maybe say add balance again 2 times and end with check balance. See how many times I'm repeating these. And that is a user's option. A user has the right and a choice to repeat those. Our computer program must be able to allow it. Now see, let me try and remove some unnecessary comments, team. So that way it'll be easy. This double add balance is not used. I'll delete this. Integer, this is good. And here, basically we're saying you've encountered the most number of tries, and we're working on the else case here. Else, we have basically logged in, so that becomes our main flow. What we want to welcome, and we can write. Let's do this. Save and run. Okay, credentials. B 1 2 3 3 no. A 1 2 3 no. A 1 2 3 $. Okay, your balance is, how can we assist you? Your balance is 0. Enter how much deposit. I want to deposit 500. Your new balance is 500. Old balance was 0. New balance is 500. Your balance is 500. Again, it's coming to you. Your balance is each time. Oh, we are putting this balance also, right? How much I want to deposit? I want to deposit 123.456. And that becomes my new balance. And as long as the session is active, these values will always be there. And then again, I think that's about it. That's all we are calling for. Now I can keep on looping through saying enter 1 for check balance, 2 for this, 3 for transfer balance, or 4 to exit. Okay, so how do we take that from the user? Same system.input, but we'll try and focus a little bit more towards what do we do at that time. So that's about functions and how we can keep improvising or implementing them, and how we can organize our code to look much more easier, simpler, where my login has become a one line now. Each of this check balance, add balance has become, again one line. And let us say transfer balance is there. Okay, so at least we can simulate transfer balance. Let's say check balance. Let's write transfer balance. I'll copy this. Anyone would like to show me what you're practicing at your end? Would you like me to share the files that we have done so far so that you can look at the code and practice? I can put it in the Skype group, team. Yes, I'll come to you. So transfer balance. So transfer balance, I will definitely require two things, team. String receiver name and double send amount, how much you're sending. So if I take this, I know my balance is this, then I'll print a statement. See, and none of these returns I'm using, team. This function returns. Now let me write that logic here. Gives outputs 2 for us to use further. It is not mandatory to use the return. Oops. So there we go. So that's optional team. Okay. And for us to use the value that it returns. So though I'm returning balance here, I'm really not using it. So here your balance I'm printing, and then I'll say that send amount plus 2 plus receiver name. Okay. Now this is just a print statement. In a next version of banking apps, you will write specifically how you're sending, who to send, how does it go, reduced here but increases there, and so on. So send amount is there, that is done. And then my bal equals my balance plus send amount. Is that correct, everyone? Is this correct? Is plus my balance. So I'm saying your balance is my balance. I'm sending this amount to a receiver. Now my new balance is this plus the whatever we sent, and then we're printing new balance is my balance. Right, everyone? Send amount, yeah. If I write sent amount, if I make an error there, it'll definitely have an issue. Come on, team. None of you are really focusing then in this case, if you're not answering this question. You're right, Bhavneet. Only one of you did it. So transfer balance. Let us check. What does it mean? So check balance, add balance, transfer balance of, see again, if I don't send this information, then it's a problem. To let us say KK, and we are sending $123. Okay. Can you tell anyone why is there an error on line 42? Why is there an error on line 42? Can anyone tell me, please? Very poor team. A lot of you, hardly few of you are answering. That primarily means you're not practicing, you're not at all attending the program. I should have collected from each of you, one like an $1,000 or $1,500, then all the dedication will come. Both you have not given me right answers. You're right, Anis. You're right, Rujula. You're right, Rujula. So look at it. You're sending here a string, and here you're saying a double. So you cannot send again another string, and you have to send a double here. So I'll say 123.45. Still a problem. Remove those double quotes. You cannot afford to keep it, and that's fine. Okay. Now, putting a number without decimals into double is okay. It's as good as saying 123.00. But you cannot put a string unless you convert it first. Okay, so transfer balance. Now we will check the balance and see. No more add balance. And let us see what happens. So let's log in. A, how much to deposit? Is this correct, everyone? Is this what we wanted? You're right. And that is where I want you focused, team. In the sense, how do you keep that logic intact? When you're sending an amount, you're gonna subtract it and not add it. That's the whole point. Now let's rerun it. 1,000 and we send 123. We left with 877. Makes sense, everyone? All right, great. Questions or anything coming from your end, team? Anis, you have a question for me?
Oh, no, no. I just answered the question. I was like searching for the thing, so I didn't have it.
No problem. Your hand was raised. It still is.
I'll, yeah, I'll just, okay. Yeah.
Um, instead of say, okay, so there are questions as to what is it we can use, team? Can we use where is that? Someone was asking. I think it's in login. Instead of using an exclamation and blah blah blah, where did I use? Here, I think. Not even here. Out here, right? Can't we use unequals or it does not equal to and so on? There are many options and choices, team, within programming languages. It will be rich with so many options. I don't want you to remember that all of those exist. You need to know the most important ones correctly first. Then you can expand. It's like learning the bicycle. The most important aspect of learning a bicycle is to get your balance right so that you can start. And after that, you can go faster, slower, you can go to different places. So is swimming. That main concept has to be there. And then you can expand more and more over it. For now, just focus with whatever we are doing, team. That's plenty of it. And whenever you have a question, I want you to explore. Oh, what happens if I don't put an ampersand here? See, this is an and. That is, if both have to be correct. And then what if I use two bars? That becomes more like, when does that come? And we will talk about all these things, team, soon. Team, I want to see your screens. Who wants to show me what you're practicing? You're welcome, Varsha. And team, I would want everyone to show me their screens. That is the only way I'm able to guide, assist you. Ask me questions by showing your code or show me progress. Yes, please.
Okay. Hi, Karthik.
Hello.
Yeah. Here I have practiced the ones which you have taught us the other day
Mm-hmm.
about user login and logout.
Yeah, yeah.
So here we are giving inputs
Uh-huh.
from user, and then we defined the input as a new scanner. This is a
Mm-hmm.
method system.in,
Mm-hmm.
and we are also giving a password from our end. And here we are giving a if statement wherein username equals ignores case. That is, even if it is lowercase or uppercase, it would accept. And
Mm-hmm.
then the password, because password is case sensitive, we have to keep it as equals. And then we are checking that condition. If it is true, it gives correct details, or else it will give incorrect details. So if I go ahead and run this, first I'm giving correct details. Yeah, it is giving us correct details.
Okay. So when you entering the right information.
Yeah, now I'm giving incorrect information. Oh, sorry. So it says incorrect details. That's
Okay.
the first one which I tried. And the next one is by using a while loop, that is to set a number of attempts
Yeah.
to log in.
Yeah.
And here, if attempts are greater than 0 and not equals to S, then it will go ahead and do this statements. It will run this code, and here also same logic, where if username and password equals, then it gives us yes. And we have used here a flag called logged in as well in this while.
Logged in.
So
Correct.
yeah, yeah. And this is where we can check whether it gives us if we try for 3 times, if we get the correct output or not.
Mm-hmm.
We can check on that. So it's asking for first I'll give correct details. So it's saying correct credentials and welcome to this. Welcome to Java Bank. How can we assist? And if I run it again, first I'll give it says incorrect, then incorrect. So it's giving you have entered incorrect details.
Very nice.
So it's working fine. And yeah, that's all. And this is the one which you just showed us, the difference between
Mm-hmm.
how for loop and while loop works.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah,
Very
that's it.
nice.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
team, this very good job, Lakshmi. And this is all I expect, team. Just look at the video and write the code. It'll be very easy to practice, get the concept correct, and we'll keep on adding more and more to this now. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyone else would love to show? Come on, team. You have to. I was expecting a lot of action from you all, especially the younger ones. Can I get to see some programs tomorrow? I will show you by next Monday as my schools are going on, so I don't have enough time to practice on Friday, Saturday. Okay, sure. No problem. All right, team. Thank you, Lakshmi. I'll make myself presenter. I want to give you all an assignment, team. I want you to take a new Java project or class, Java program, create, add, subtract, multiply, divide functions, call them in which function? In the main method. I want you to do this, team. It's not complicated at all, but it'll give you a good practice on basics of functions. And show this to me tomorrow, please, all of you. Should be easy. I think we've done for today, team. And I would want to move on to tomorrow. I'm just seeing what topics should we attack. Java Day 08. Can we start with oops? I will go to arrays and I will go to data types. I will be going through blah, 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 a lot of other things. But let's talk about object oriented programming systems. Okay, so this is something that we can focus in tomorrow's session. It'll take us at least 2 to 3 sessions to get a good grip on this. And then you'll understand how this is. So what we have seen so far is the basic crux of any programming languages. They all have this if statements, for loops, while loops, functions built into them. And oops is what made Java special to start with. The object-oriented concept and how we create classes and work with objects. Okay, great, everyone. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye for today. We'll see you back tomorrow. Bye, all of you. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you all.